Sanctuary building and the Fleisher Art Memorial. And work on this building really truly began in 1880 with Dr. Henry Robert Percival, who was the assigned rector to the Church of the Evangelists, which used to reside in this space and in the building prior to the sanctuary. This building wasn't designed until 1885 to 1886 by L.C. Baker of the Furness, Evans and Company, and it opened in March of 1886. Meanwhile, Fleisher in 1898 founded the Graphic Sketch Club. Its first building was the Jewish Union Building at 422 Bainbridge Street. Let's see, around the turn of the century, Dr. Percival died and a new rector came on board, and he founded the St. Martin's College for Indigent Boys, which is the school right next door. But he was only here for about 11 years, and then the church closed, the school closed, and the church remained vacant for about 22 years. Fleischer had moved into a building right across the street around the turn of the century again, bought the school for the St. Martin's College, and then in 1922 saved this building from demolition. And I read somewhere that it might have been a parking garage. I'm not sure how valid that statement was, but needless to say, it was going to be demolished, and he very appropriately chose this as his sanctuary for art. Installed his own personal collection of Russian icons, Oriental rugs, things that he and his family had acquired over the years. In 1944, Fleischer died in the Graphic Sketch Club, which it was formerly known as, became the Fleischer Art Memorial, and administration switched over to the Pennsylvania Museum of Art. Within the last 50, 60 years, the Fleischer Art Memorial got a few new buildings, as you all know, and underwent a restoration process in the 70s or the 80s, and then again today. And that's sort of why we're here, sort of in the middle of that restoration and revisioning process. Okay, so a quick overview of the architecture of this space. Dr. Percival had traveled extensively in Europe and lived in Italy and really became devoted to the basilica style of architecture. When he hired the firm of Furness, Evans and Company, he wanted a church that will have the same relative proportions of the Cathedral of Pisa, square pillars like those in St. Mark's of Venice, and the sanctuary shall be square as in the Cathedral of Orvieto. So as you can see, he was really bringing ideas from Europe to Philadelphia that just hadn't really been seen before. You don't really find many basilicas in the U.S., let alone in South Philadelphia. So the space in here, when it was a church, when the church closed, everything that was movable was taken out, and the church was deconsecrated. But the things that are original are the altar, the rood screen, the capitals on the columns. You'll notice not all of them have been carved. One of the ways that Percival really wanted to build the interior of the church was to get the congregation involved. Sort of this idea of reaching out to the community, reaching out to the congregation, and getting them invested in the building was an important concept. So you would donate money and get something carved in memory of a loved one, or you would donate the money for one of the beautiful stained glass windows up on the upper floor in memory of someone. So you're really, you have a personal stake in the place. The murals on the walls, the ones down here, they believe to have been painted by members of the congregation, though the details still remain a little bit fuzzy. The murals up in the front half of the church, they were painted by sort of local Philadelphians. One was Anne Webb of Germantown, and then some of the murals up there as well were done by Nicola Diascenzo. So the evolving nature of the space, the unfinished columns, the unfinished stained glass windows, is really something that we can build off of and kind of work our way into the future and the evolving nature of the space in general. respect art and the power of art. And whether the space is used by religion or art, the visitor was meant to enter and be immediately impressed by its form and its architecture, its true beauty. And while the institution who manages it has changed, the true nature of the sanctuary, the idea that you can come and have rest or meditation, has been in place since